Hey everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino, and I'm nervous about what might come out of my mouth here in this video. I don't rehearse any of this. I sit down right after the closing bell and I just start talking. And that's what I'm going to do here. I do have I have a couple of props here. I'm going to share this with you in a moment. So I did do a little bit of forward thinking for this particular video. Let's talk about what happened today in this market. All right, basically, for the most part, stocks finished higher. Dow Jones Industrial Average higher. S&P 500 higher. NASDAQ did put on a fractional loss. The 10-year yield is stable. It's remaining stable. And in this environment, where we have a Federal Reserve who has now promised, and we heard from more Fed people today, forget about a rate hike. Not happening. This is extremely stock market positive. We already understand the 6 banks that Mnuchin went to. These are the same 6 banks that run the Fed. They run the Fed, so there's no secret anymore. It's out. Who runs the Fed? You know, it used to be a big secret. Who runs the Fed? Who runs the Fed? Well, we know. Mnuchin met with those 6 banks. They will prop up this market. They will backstop this market. The market is in la-la land. And it's going to remain in la-la land because it's a distraction. It's look here, don't look here. Make the rich richer and destroy the middle class. How is the Fed? Well, it's not just the Fed anymore. Remember, our president, and I'm not beating up on the president, these are facts. You want to dispute these facts? That's fine. These are facts the way I think most of the world sees them. You're entitled to your opinion. I'd love to hear from you. Our president said for months and months the Fed should not raise rates, should keep rates where they are. Again, that's exactly what the Fed is doing. This has been the game all along. I think that was a psyop too now in retrospect, but let's move forward. So rates are suppressed. We have these 6 Wall Street banks who run the Fed playing ball. They're going to prop it up. Every time there's going to be a dip, they're going to prop it up. There was no doubt about it. We are now moving into, I believe at one point, a negative interest rate policy. I spoke about this the last 2 videos I have done. That's extremely stock market positive as well, okay? It's very negative for the middle class. So suppressed rates are robbing the middle class blind. That's what the Federal Reserve's goal is right now. They do not want you to gain any kind of wealth unless you're in the stock market. You can't save anything. If you're saving money in a savings account in this environment, you're being robbed blind. Why? Because the rate of return is not keeping up with the actual rate of inflation. Let's talk about inflation a little bit. And this is a big, huge, humongous psyop. And my props are going to come into play right here. The Federal Reserve, we understand, cannot raise rates. They made this big announcement. Fed president's coming out. They're going to keep rates where they are. Not only that, they're going to more than likely, they are going to pause reducing their balance sheet. What does this mean? Well, the Federal Reserve is saying that inflation is in check, so they don't need to raise rates. So they need to continue to rob the middle class. That's the other perspective on it. Okay, you understand? And this is a fact. Our president doesn't want the Fed to raise rates. He wants you robbed as well. He also wants you to pay for the wall. We're going to talk about that too. That's a psyop. It's a big psyop. I already alluded to this earlier. So our economy right now, our president said this today again, twice that I caught, is the strongest in the world, strongest it's ever been. But the Fed can't raise the federal funds rate 0.25%. They can't do it. Because why? Well, they don't have to because inflation is in check. Well, debts and deficits are exploding off the Richter scale. We've never seen anything like it before. That's the truth. Do your own data on this. More than they have ever been. That shouldn't be a surprise because that's what happens. Every single president has to borrow more into oblivion just to maintain where we are. Debts and deficits are inflating. Stock market's inflating. Housing is inflating. But inflation is in check. And how they do that is pretty simple. And I've already told you about it. They get an item that you want to buy. They charge you $5 for this item. This doesn't have to be a piece of paper. Then they charge you $5 for this one too, but it shrinks in size. So that's how they are trying to keep inflation in check. It's a joke, and the joke is on you, and the joke is on me. The only reason why rates are being kept where they are, and you can already see how this is playing out, is to keep the stock market inflated, moving in one direction, higher. And it will be backstopped every single time. Now that all the pawns have been put in place, you're a pawn as well. So am I. We're all part of this whole thing. Middle class will continue its downward spiral. Middle class will continue to be attacked. Middle class will continue to lose its rights. Our rights are being stripped away, and that's the bigger setup here for the wall psyop. Okay? Not saying there's not a problem on the wall. Not saying that immigration doesn't have to be dealt with. We have many issues that have to be dealt with. Obamacare was one of them. Remember that? Our president said, oh, no, we're going to get rid of this right away. Oh, yeah. No, that didn't happen. And by the way, the wall, Mexico is supposed to pay for it. No. You're going to pay for it. Are you? Is this winning? I guess this is what winning looks like in the new millennium. I don't know. But the truth behind the wall is bigger than I think most people actually imagine. Number one, the sitcom. Let's talk about the sitcom. They are counting on you, most people, to sit there and watch the sitcom play out every day. You go there, you watch Fox News, you watch CNN, whatever, however you like to be projected on, okay, because that's what this is. They're projecting this stuff onto you. Understand? It's nothing but a sitcom. The two-party system, that's why it's a two-party system. They need you to pick a side. If there were a third party, you would get confused. That's why there's two. Okay, that's how the sitcom plays out. These two parties are working towards the same goal. So when you hear President Trump say something, and then you hear Pelosi say something else that's completely opposite, that's being done on purpose. But they are working towards the same goal. The goal is, again, a direct elimination of the middle class. This is why, again, they're making sure, our president is making sure, along with the Federal Reserve, that you are getting robbed blind. Blind. You don't even know it. If you have a savings account, you're getting robbed blind. You're not earning a rate of return that keeps up the actual rate of inflation. No. There's no inflation. There's no inflation. I can prove it to you. These both cost the same. Yeah, that's how stupid they think you are. And they're laughing at you. They're all laughing at you. Do you think they're not? So the wall psyop is bigger. This is what the wall psyop is. I explained this to you earlier. And I want to do a little more detail on this. It's very important. President Trump is going to issue an emergency decree to build the wall that Mexico is supposed to pay for. Okay, it's going to go to the courts. Most people believe that when it does go to the courts, President Trump is going to lose. I'm here to tell you that President Trump will not lose. That has been the plan since the get-go, to increase executive power to this level. So, and it's not for our President Trump. It's not for this guy. It's for the next guy or girl who gets into office, who can then say, hey, you know what? I don't like the Second Amendment. We just had a big shooting somewhere. This is a national emergency. Poof! There goes your Second Amendment. You got it? That's what this is really about. No. But you stay polarized. You stay on this side and argue with the person on the other side. You are part of the sitcom. It's a 3D thing. You know 3D chess? That's 3D chess. And you're playing it. That's the truth. It's unbelievable, people. It's beyond belief. Let's talk about a few other things here. So our president today was talking about jobs that were created. Now, let me ask you, if debts and deficits were not exploding like they are, we've never seen anything like it before, would we be adding jobs? And the jobs that we are adding, what kind of jobs are they anyway? Let me explain this to you. If we were not exploding the debts and deficits like we are now, these jobs would disappear faster than you can say the 47th problem of Euclid. Do you even know what the 47th problem of Euclid is? Probably not. That's okay. Most people don't. Anyway, that's the truth here. The president can sit there and tout these jobs. And you can have people say, our economy is really, really strong. I agree with the president. I agree with him. Oh, but what would happen if we stopped borrowing, stopped adding to our deficit? What would happen to these jobs? They would still be there? Do you think so? I don't think you're that dumb. In fact, I know you're not that dumb. So again, there are those on this side, of course. That's how it's set up. Oh, our economy is so strong. Everything is just great. I believe everything our president says. So you must believe the Federal Reserve, because the president is on the same page as the Federal Reserve with regard to suppressing interest rates and robbing the middle class blind. You got that? I see. So look, we exist right now under a psyop that is off the Richter scale. And you can capitalize on this. Speaking of that, a big announcement right here and right now. As of right now, this moment, all of my publications on how you can rip the face off of this market is 100% free. And they will remain that way. I'm going to ask for your help. So again, I want you to have a copy of my work, all of my work, even if you have never traded a stock in your life. Maybe you want to know how the market works a little bit. Maybe you've thought about getting into this. Maybe you just want to use it to I don't know, make a copy of it and light it on fire. That will be okay too. I have a goal to give away 1 million copies of my work. 1 freaking million. And I want you to help me do that by the end of this year. In the description of this video is a link to my website, traderschoice.net. Click on that. Left side of the page, you're going to see all the stuff I'm giving away, which is all my work. Click on that and just download them. Download all 3 copies. The RIP system is in there. How to trade credit spreads is in there. And also the 1 rule you must never break when trading stocks. I'm going to turn, for all of you out here who want to get into this market, I'm going to turn you into super traders. For those of you who just want to learn about the market, just go download these things. It's free. I mean, honestly, 100% free. I don't want anything. 0. I just want you to have them. So I hope you take advantage of this. And I will keep you on top of my goal. Again, by the end of this year, I want to give away 1 million copies. Maybe you can help me give away more than that. That's what I want to do. And I think, look, people, that does not, all my profit, every dime I have ever earned from my publications that I have sold, I have donated to an animal charity. You know how I feel about this. I donate a significant amount of my income to animal charities. That doesn't, and just because I'm giving all this stuff away doesn't mean I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to continue doing that. It makes me feel good. We all have to pay it forward. Regardless of the psyops that they're throwing at us, the two-party system, pick a side game that you are a player in, unfortunately, they think you're dumb. I know you're not dumb, and I hope that we're all starting to get wise to it. Anyway, with that said, please pay it forward to, I don't know, find something good to do for somebody. I don't know, say, how about we do this, you and I? When you're walking on the street and you see somebody you don't know, just say, just something like this. How you doing today? How are you? Just in passing. Give that person something to smile about. You know what I mean? If we start doing this to each other, the world will be a better place regardless of this freaking dog shit psyop that they're playing on us. Why are we letting this happen? Let's not do it. So my goal today, when I go walk around and I have a lot of things to do, I'm going to start saying hi to everyone. How you doing today? How was your day? Maybe start a conversation with somebody. They got to stop. They're dividing us. Why are we letting this happen? Forget about it. Turn off your TV. Turn off any freaking channel that's trying to polarize you. Seriously. Turn them off. Even on YouTube. Get them out. You should be right up the middle, like I've been saying. If you understand how this is working, what they're trying to do to you, you will turn off your TV or the news as fast as you can probably say the 47th problem of Euclid. Anyway, I'm going to let you all go, people. Anyway, please, help me to hit my goal. These are really free. I'm not asking for anything. Nothing. Link in the description of this video. Go to my website, download all of my publications, one of them, download all of them. They're all free. And I will hit my goal. I want to hit my goal, 1 million by the end of this year. I love all of you from the heart. That's the truth. Love each other. Care about each other. Be charitable. See you Sunday.